The 2016 Porsche Panamera. Yes, this is the 2016, meaning it is the first generation Panamera, but this is a car that has done an awful lot for Porsche as a brand, and I want to talk to you all about it today before I get to its eventual successor. I'm Jay, and welcome to CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews, and yes, this is the four-door big sedan hatchback sort of wagon type thing, Porsche Panamera, that either you like or you really just despise its exterior design. But I also want to thank Sauna and Porsche for letting me come on down and film this for you today. So the Porsche Panamera, brief history of it here. It was actually first inspired by the late 1980s 989 four-door sedan hatchback concept that Porsche came up with. That car never actually got produced. It was rear engine. It was essentially a stretched 911 as opposed to the Panamera here, which is front engined, obviously. And the Panamera came out for the 2010 model year, and it was on the market for 6 years. This 2016 model that you see right here is the last of the first generation. The all-new one, along with the Gran Turismo wagon estate version of it, which is just stunning, is now arriving in dealerships. But the Panamera has become one of the best-selling Porsches of all time. All right, before I sort of get cut off there, that was the sound of this particular Panamera's engine. This is the 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V6 with 310 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 295 pound-feet of torque at 3,750 RPM. Power goes to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's called the Doppelkupplung, or PDK. That's my pretty bad German for you there. You can also get this with all-wheel drive. It is optional. But I think rear-wheel drive in a Panamera is actually more of the fun choice to really experience what a Porsche sedan is supposed to drive like. Now, this particular one, it's painted Palladium Metallic. This exterior paint actually costs an extra $3,140. It's equipped with these 19-inch Panamera Classic Wheels. Those are actually another $1,225. You do get 18-inch wheels standard, but as you know, as I've done with all the previous Porsches, I've reviewed the 911, the 718 Boxster, adding features such as upgraded wheels, unique paint colors, exterior paint rather. It just drags the price up so fast. But looking at from the side portfolio or silhouette look here, again, like I said earlier, it's either you like it or you don't. I can understand it looks a little frumpy, a little like a humpback whale type like design here, but there's a reason why its proportions are just not the prettiest, and it's because as the Panamera here was being designed, the CEO of Porsche at the time, he's gone now, another story entirely, he was about 6'4", 6'5". He was really tall, and he told Porsche's designers and engineers that he wants to be able to sit comfortably in the rear seat without smashing the top of his head against one of the like the C-pillar or the roof for an example. He wanted to be driven around in a proper executive sedan like the BMW 7 Series or the Audi A8 with all the creature comforts that go with it, including space, and this was the result. So from the rear end here, yeah, I like it. It is very Porsche-like, especially these rear taillights. These are LED units. I like that that really nice exhaust system. As with every single Porsche, the car just sounds fantastic. And you can see a lot of 911 styling throughout. Again, it's sort of, it's got that hatchback look just like the 911. Of course, the 911 has that for a reason because it's rear, or as I like to say, butt-engined. But this was, the Panamera was never going to be rear-engined, even though the 989 concept was, a different story. Front-engine was the smart move for Porsche to make here. Now, some other standard exterior features are bi-xenon headlights, 4-point LED daytime running lights, and as I already mentioned, those LED tail lights. Now, if you were to compare this Panamera here to the second all-new generation, you're going to see how much nicer looking the new Panamera is. It's just a smoother looking car. Now this engine here, what's actually it's cool about it. It's actually based on the larger 4.8 liter naturally aspirated V8. It's just missing a couple of cylinders. It also weighs 66 pounds less than that V8, which helps give the Panamera here a lower curb weight. Now this is the least powerful engine you were able to get in the first generation Panamera. Performance 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds, but that's only with the optional Sport Chrono package, which this particular car does not have. So think about 6 seconds flat from 0 to 60 in this one. And top speed is 160 miles per hour, electronically limited. And fuel economy, 18 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway, and a combined 22. This vehicle weighs just under 3,900 pounds. And again, this is actually about as light as you can get for the first generation Panamera. So all those Panameras, whether it was the 4, 4S, the Turbo S, GTS, Hybrid, those all weighed at least 4,000 pounds, which is that's like 2 Mazda MX-5 Miatas. Now this interior, it's got this, just all black leather, which is just one of the standard leather colors. This didn't cost anything extra. You have 14-way power driver's seat with memory, automatic dual-zone climate control. That's standard. With that also comes with an active carbon filter. And look at this rear seat. I mean, look at the amount of space here. This is easily comfortable for someone who is 6'4", 6'5". Now, one of the things I just always found difficult to figure out with the first generation Panamera is just all of those buttons on the center console. I mean, for a German engineer, he's like, yeah, well, this makes complete sense to me. But for everybody else, there is a bit of a learning curve here. And I really suggest if you buy one of the remaining first generation Panameras or a used one, read the instruction manual on how to work everything. Now, this Panamera here, this particular one, it is equipped with the Premium Package Plus for an extra $2,660. That gives you Porsche entry and drive, front seat ventilation, lane change assist, and instead of dual-zone automatic climate control, 4-zone automatic climate control, meaning the rear seat passengers have their own climate control functions, which I think, in a car that costs this much, I'll get to pricing in just a few more minutes, you should have 4-zone automatic climate control as standard. This is, in addition to being a performance vehicle, it is also very much a luxury vehicle that competes against the BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe, maybe even the BMW 7 Series. I'll get to competitors more in a couple minutes as well. Now, this steering wheel here, this is actually not one of the fancier ones that you can get on, say, the Turbo or the Turbo S. This one's actually, pretty basic. As well as this is the 7-inch infotainment screen with navigation. Now, a 7-inch screen, I mean, just a few years ago, everyone was like, wow, 7 inches, that's really big. But now you're up to 8, 9 inches. The new screen on the latest generation Panamera is even bigger. This one is still just fine. I think it functions just fine. Remember, this is a 2016 model year, so what's nice is that Porsche has still been able to update the infotainment systems throughout the car's lifetime. So the one you see here is not identical to the one that was offered in the 2010-2011 Panamera. They did upgrade it. But as far as ranking infotainment systems, and I always say this, I still think Chrysler, or rather FCA's Uconnect system, is the best one on the market right now. Now, here we go. Lots of buttons. It controls everything from seat functions, seat warmers, the climate control that you see here. And yes, I think it is a little intimidating, but if you were to compare the interior of this first generation Panamera here to that of the all-new one, you're going to see that Porsche made a very smart decision, and they simplified things somewhat, not to a full extent that I maybe would have preferred, but the new interior of the second generation Panamera, in my opinion, is a nicer place to be. But remember, this car dates back to 2010, and I still think it aged pretty well. Now, this is kind of interesting here. As far as there's cup holders go, there's a total of 4. You have 1 right here in the center console. You have 2 in the folding glove box and 2 in the rear center console as well. There's also a 585-watt Bose surround sound system with 14 speakers. But one thing I can say about the Panamera, and again, I think it just goes for every Porsche out there, the build quality of this thing is just absolutely impeccable. The amount of attention to detail, just the way that center console storage bin closes, it sounds good. It doesn't have that, maybe that sort of cheap plastic smack that you hear in, I don't know, a base Kia model or something like that. Here it is just everything here, the way you touch it, the steering wheel even is just fantastic. Now, some other basic connectivity you get in this is Bluetooth, Sirius XM radio, and as you saw there, those USB inputs. And the steering wheel is heated in this one, but that's still a $270 option. And again, this car should come with a standard heated steering wheel. You shouldn't have to pay $270 for that. Here are your 14-way power driver and front passenger seats. Very nice. Always easy to find a proper seating position. Now, the Panamera here, it along with the Cayenne, which actually the Cayenne has become Porsche's best-selling model, the Panamera was a very close second in many ways because a lot of buyers walked into a Porsche dealership, they saw the 911, and then for around the same base price, you can get a Porsche that could fit the whole family, and it made the purchase more justifiable as opposed to the 911, which does have a rear seat that's, I don't know, useless even for a large dog. Buying a vehicle that costs at least $90,000, at least you can get the entire family in this thing, and just a lot of extra room and daily usability as well. So let's talk some safety that you get in this. As standard, you have the Porsche's Park Assist, which including a front and rear surround view for $850, driver and front passenger airbags and knee airbags, rear side airbags, curtain airbags from the A to the C pillars. You also get Porsche's stability management system with ABS brakes, fully galvanized hybrid lightweight body with side impact protection in the doors. Now, as you can see here, you can only get 2 passengers in the rear seat, and you know what? That's fine, because if you had 3, you wouldn't be able to get this totally awesome rear seat center console here. Again, it has its own climate control, cup holders. It's just, again, you have to actually sit in this to just appreciate the build quality of everything here. Just the way that little compartment there opens. It's just, the click of the buttons is just wonderful. All right, so how does this thing drive? Well, like a big Porsche, it's definitely a dynamic driving experience, but it's not nearly at the level of, say, this one is the Panamera Turbo or the Turbo S or the GTS. This one is actually the Porsche Panamera Edition. That's all it's called, the Edition. It's basically what Porsche had in mind to try to get rid of, and this is my opinion, excess Panameras on the lot, so they kind of gave this particular one with the base engine bunch of extra standard features for less money and just called it the Edition. Now, this is another reason right here why people love the Panamera. Cargo space. You have 15.7 cubic feet of it with the rear seats folded up. And then the rear seats, they have a 60-40 split folding split. With them down, it's 44.6 cubic feet. And you have this little extra cargo area right underneath the floor as well. So again, this thing is just so usable on a day-to-day basis. Now, what's also interesting is that when the Panamera here came out in 2009, it was when it debuted, went on sale in 2010, the Porsche purists absolutely hated it. They hated it along with the Cayenne because, well, it was not a pure Porsche sports car, plain and simple. They thought Porsche was selling out. But at the same time, though, because of the huge success of the Panamera and the Cayenne and now the Macan SUV, Porsche is able to funnel all that money right back into 911 development programs. I believe there's over 20 variations of the 911 currently on sale. The reason why that's possible is because of cars like the Panamera. Okay, so pricing. What do we got? Well, base price of, at least of the 2016 first generation model, was $80,000 with all the features that I mentioned, plus a $1,050 destination fee. The grand total for this car right here, $89,195. If you're in the market for a Panamera and you're looking for a good deal, there might be some 2016 models still left on the market or on the lot. So definitely check those out. But if you miss them, then don't worry. The all-new redesigned Panamera, as well as the Gran Turismo or Panamera Gran Turismo wagon version, are on their way. Okay, so some of the competition, as I already mentioned, the BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe, the Audi A7, S7, RS7, Mercedes-Benz CLS class. All of those also start at nearly six figures as well. But some people want the Panamera. Why? Well, because it's a Porsche. All right, so what do I like? Well, it's definitely unique, and even with this 3.6 liter V6, it's not very fast, but I did think it was very smooth to accelerate, and the car just overall sounds really, really good. And there's just a massive amount of interior space and cargo space. Now, what don't I like? Well, this is just a personal opinion. I never really got to like this first generation Panamera's looks, inside or out. The dash, like I said, it's really busy, and the exterior is just a little strange. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.